Jason, thank you so much for coming to Cuadros Corner, even though I'm actually in your corner here in the Phoenix Gallery on Main Street in McAllen, Texas. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I had a bit of a long night last night. We were out at the Texas Conjunto Hall of Fame inductee awards last night out in San Benito. So it was a great time. Had a bit of a late night, so thus being the shades, and plus I had a little bit of the motivation on the rooftop a little bit a while ago. So
Nice.
yeah, I'm gonna be keeping these on for a little bit here.
No, that's cool, man.
I'm not being arrogant or anything like that.
No. This is your place. Thanks for opening your doors here for me. This is actually the first time that I do my podcast somewhere else outside Backdoor Modern Vintage, and I gotta say, like, what better place to start out than the Phoenix Gallery?
That's cool, man. Well, thank you for having me, man. It's a pleasure for me to be here, man. Yeah.
Pleasure. And I wanted to start out with a question that is simple, but the answer might be more than just simple, which is, what is
art? You're going to bring out the big guns already, right?
What does art mean for you?
I'm going to give you a story, and back when I first started painting, I've been painting for about 20 years or so. And when I first started painting, I really looked up to a couple of artists. One was one of my real dear close friends, and one of my brothers, Mando Vasquez. He goes by the name of Dressed One. But there was also another artist that I really looked up to at the time, and I remember when art crawl first started and the boutique restaurants were first starting up. España was out there, and house wine had just started up, and the Delgados had just started up with making house wine. There was this individual there by the name of Bob Vina, and he's an artist, and he's a phenomenal artist. He's been in the game since he graduated UTPA in the 70s, and a phenomenal artist. But he would go out there and he'd just be sitting at the bar sipping on wine, and everybody would be shaking his hand, taking pictures with him like he was the damn mayor.
Yeah.
And I always told myself, I'm gonna be like that one day, And this was long time ago. And so I had my first solo show, and lo and behold, he happened to be there and gave me some awesome pointers. Took me under his wing a bit there, and he asked me the same question. He goes, why do you do this? What does this mean to you? And to be completely honest with you, I looked at him and with a blank face because I didn't know that, that was a question that I couldn't answer. And he kind of chuckled, and he was like, don't worry about it. You don't have to answer that right now. He goes, it'll come to you later. So now that here you are, and this is like about, this is about, 15 years later, almost maybe, give or take, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, But here you are with that same question, But, when it really comes to what is art to me, art is life. Art is the reason why I live. Art is, I do have a daytime job, in the legal profession. But art is my sanctuary. Art is where I go to get away from everything, where I go to become me, where I go to create, where everything that's really basically inside of me is able to go ahead and get out. Talk, I'm not really a man of many words. I do a lot of my talking with my paintbrush. So that's really what is my way of communication to the world. It's my way. It's of therapy. Art has saved my life. I've had some really traumatic experiences in my life where art has come into play, and it's been therapy for me to where the point I've been able to come to closure with things, where I've been able to, just understand things, why they happen, and be able to go ahead and tell everybody about it without having to open my mouth about it, because, I guess I can consider myself to be a private person. I'm not one to be spilling my guts out here and there, but if you look deep inside of all the paintings, you'll see it,
Well, thanks for opening your guts here in front of us. So you're like a phoenix that rises from the ashes, I would assume, with your paintings. Especially you told me a very personal story, which we'll get to later. But I wanted to ask you, when was it the first time that you remember either like painting something or drawing something and you showed someone and they gave you a compliment? Was that the case where you received a compliment from someone and you're like, well, maybe I have something here. I have some sort of talent going on. Was that the case? Or
yeah, absolutely. You know, absolutely. And it's a good thing you brought that up, actually, because yeah, that was the big motivation to go ahead and help establish myself as an artist. Is that, you know, you need support, you know, and you do need a stage to go ahead and do what you do, because if not, nobody's ever going to see it. But the thing about it is also is like, okay, so one of the I guess you have to realize that art, to call yourself an artist, it's actually a title that you earn through a degree. You can't go out and say you're a cop, and you can't go out and say you're a doctor, and you sure as hell can't go out and say you're a lawyer. They put you in jail for that shit. You know what I mean? But a lot of people just wake up one day and pick up a pen and goes, I'm going to be an artist, you know? I'm a self-taught artist, you know, and that's basically what I was. But you have to realize that you also have individuals that go to school for this. They get in debt. You know, they go to school, they study under professor, they learn how to use their tools of the trade to do that, and they come out with a degree in the arts, and they just literally artists, you know. So one of the biggest obstacles I really encountered is becoming an artist, a self-taught artist that didn't go to school, that didn't go to college, that didn't earn my degree in there, is earning the respect of academia. Because you have to realize that, I mean, a lot of galleries and a lot of museums will not showcase your work if you're just a street artist. You know, you're just an individual that, you know, that woke up one day and said, I'm pick the pen, I'm gonna do this, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't work that way. You know, you can't get into museums, especially museums. You're talking about Smithsonian, you know, even IMUS and things of that nature, you know, without, you know, a proper resume, without somebody stating who you are, what have you done, you know what I mean? And also that, I mean, you have to realize that also a lot of the academic artists, you know, academia artists, you know, they're in their group, they graduated each other, they have their exhibits, and they're legit exhibits, you know. And your goal as, you know, as a self-taught artist is to go ahead and gain the respect of everything in order for you to become an artist. You know what I mean? Because I mean, you can't go out and say you're an artist because you're not. Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, that's not a title that you've earned, you know? So, you know, doing this for a long time and actually, you know, becoming friends with a lot of the academia artists, the professors. I'm aside from painting, I also curate a lot of things, you know. And so I've had the honor to go ahead and curate art exhibits for a lot of these, you know, a lot of my friends now, you know, Rigoberto Gonzalez, you know, Kurt Clark, you know, Bob Vina, you know, a lot of these into Sandra Uri, you know, and so it's about being accepted as a community in order for you to go ahead and be able to go ahead and call yourself an artist, you know.
And speaking of community, is it possible to put into words or describe the art scene down here in the Valley, like the community? Is that even possible or do you have to just experience it? Or what's it like for those that are barely like getting to know art down here in the Valley, that maybe they just moved down here or maybe they had no idea? Right.
We have, I mean, the thing about it is art has been down here for a long time, and there are a lot of phenomenally talented artists down over here, but the cities are just basically barely getting into the stuff, you know. City of Edinburgh has an excellent art program out there that they do with the artists, you know, their events, things of that nature. And so does the City McAllen. City McAllen's a bit of a little thing right now, you know, but the thing about it is, you have to realize that the people that ran the cities or run the cities are a lot of old school guys. You know what I mean? Now we got to start getting a lot of young blood coming into the system, you know, coming into that. They're getting college degrees. They're getting into the city. They're getting positions, big positions within running offices of the city. And they're starting to help and start developing the art scenes here, because you have to realize that, I mean, that art is culture. You know, it's been like that since you know, the medieval times and before that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even with the hieroglyphics, you know, I mean, art is a way of communication. Art is a way of stabilizing who we are as a community, as a human race, and as a race of people like Hispanics, you know, African American, whatever the situation is, you know. But here in a community, here, just getting back to this right now, it's a very new thing. I mean, even though we've been doing this for a while, a lot of the people, especially the citizens, don't understand it too much. You know what I mean? And we are educating them by having exhibits like that, by allowing the public to go ahead and come on in, you know, and view things that's going on. And now, as a result of that, they're catching on, and we are building a stronger foundation when it comes to art, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, and like I said, like here in the city of McAllen, you know, we have, you know, the art walk, and then I also started the McAllen Art Crawl, you know, just to go ahead and get back the art walk the way it was before.
Yeah, I remember when I came to the first art walk, there was the whole street, Main Street. It was just filled with tables and artists selling stuff and showing their art. It was It was like, wow, I had no idea that this was here. It was just like eye opening. You just felt like when you go to Mexico, there's like a mercadito. Where you feel
it was a beautiful thing, you know, and that was, you know, probably one of the first ways that I actually was able to go ahead and get my art out into the public for people to view, and then from there, you know, that was a stepping block to everything else, you know. But yeah, I mean, those are the thing about it, you know, and unfortunately, you know, a lot of people are under the misconception here in McAllen that it's the restaurants, or it's all this, or people with money that don't have to do all this stuff. You know, it really isn't. You know what I mean? That's a big misconception, and it's people that really don't know really what it is. But they have to realize that here in McAllen, the art district is located in a residential area. Yeah, like literally right across the street. You know what I mean? Like right across the street from España, our houses, right across the street from Roosevelt's, our houses, right across the street from all these restaurants that are here, our houses. And back in the day, when that art walk was going on, the old one, John Ingram, which was the city, which was the commissioner of that area, lived in that area, you know, hated people parking in front of his fucking front yard, you know, and a lot of the other people do, you know, that area has been recently gotten regentrified, where all these $80,000 older homes have been gutted out, rebuilt, and they're being sold for $300,000-$400,000 now. You know, and now you have people with, you know, with voting power. You know, people that they have something to say, and they'll go out to the city meetings, and, you know, and they'll state their mind. You know, and so you have to realize that, okay, now that puts, you know, the current commissioner in a predicament. You know, okay, you got the business owners that want to do this, that, you know, that are they want to help thrive, they want to help bring money into their businesses, and then on the other hand, you have the residential areas that don't want the music till past 12 o'clock, you know, or don't want anybody parking in front of their houses or anything like that. You know what I mean? So then the city commissioner is in the middle. He's like, oh God, you know, what do I do? You know, Sebi Haddad, good friend, you know, and what do we do? You know, how can I meet a middle ground and satisfy both of them without pissing each one of them off and ultimately hurting my own position here by not getting their vote next year, you know, or next election time, you know? So, you know, as it is, you know, things like that happen, you know. When I started the McAllen Art Crawl, you know, like I said, I've been doing this for a while, and I'm very good friends with a lot of the business owners and the restaurant owners here. So it was basically, what I try to do is get around that and just get the business owners involved towards everybody has an art related event every first Friday of the month, and everybody's, you know, go again, you know, and we just come together as a community. You know, well, I mean, unfortunately, that when it started off great, you know, I mean, and
why do you think it has slowed down or not as I mean, as far as the art walk, is that still going on?
It is still going on, but like I said, going back to when John Yeager was in there, what he did was he basically took it off the main strip and he put it aside somewhere else where it wouldn't be bothering them so much.
Oh,
And that's
wow.
where you have the art walk that was pushed over to where the food park is now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's your Archer Park. You know, there was that Archer Park at first, and then it went down a little bit more, you know, and stuff like that. Now that's why it is that everything's over there, because they want to try to not bother the residents.
Yeah, I had no idea that it was over there.
Yeah.
I every Friday, the first Friday of every month,
Right.
correct?
Yeah, and you know, and it's gotten relatively quiet, you know,
Yeah.
and that's kind of like the way the city kind of made it, to just keep everything calm, you know, but
Yeah.
it's not the way we like it.
It was also, I remember one time it was in the incubator.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the incubator is a city-run facility, and they were a major hub for all that. So yeah, they was part of the art crawl there, definitely. And and I remember the incubator. I remember the old incubator when I first started painting a long time. No, it was at a school.
Oh,
it was at a school. I mean, we're talking about 15 years ago, man. It was at a school on South. I forgot the name of the school, but it was in the south part of McAllen over there, close to where the cemetery was at over there.
Oh, okay.
And there was a school there. It got torn down, and that's why it's not there anymore. And that's why it got moved over there. But
Head Start? Was it Head Start?
It might have been, man. No, it wasn't the Head Start. It was across the street from the Head Start.
Oh, okay.
There was a school there, and they had a stage there in an auditorium.
Oh.
And back then, you were able to go ahead and rent a classroom as your studio,
wow.
and they'd go ahead and sell you. And they were like about $100 a month or something
wow.
like that. I know it's cheap as hell.
Wow.
And then within the studio, within the auditorium, there was also all sorts of punk shows, DJs, art shows. That's when I started doing a lot of the art shows, and I started showing and exhibiting with a lot of artists like Manuel Zamudio, who's a phenomenal artist. Congratulations, Danny. I'm proud of you for everything that you've been doing. Amazing artist, man. That guy is coming out on Juxtapost magazine, national level. I mean, big collectors are collecting this stuff. And they said, we have a lot of really, really talented individuals here that are doing really major ways. You know, Conquista here, he's got a documentary that's going on. You know,
I saw it.
You know, it's winning, you know, awards here and there with all these little film festivals, you know. And I mean, we need to get out there because, people with the likes of Elon Musk have already been clawing eyes out here and have seen what it is out here, you know. And I mean, it's gold, you know. It's gold, you know. You know, it's amazing.
So let me ask you, if someone wants to like be a part of the art district, or maybe at least like learn more about it, what's on the bucket list of like getting to know? Like, is there, other than the Phoenix Gallery, which maybe you can touch on first, is there a specific spot that you would recommend people to go? Yeah,
go out and visit. I mean, we got the Phoenix out here, you know, which is more and more people are starting to know. But I mean, there's plenty of other places. Go to Raquel Hinojosa. You know what I mean? At Innovations Art Gallery, they're on Laurel. They have a bunch of amazing artists out there. Lupe is her boyfriend, and he's an artist there. He also curates out there at the gallery, and he's been doing some amazing murals out with the city. He's a phenomenal artist as well. They got some really cool stuff out there, and they also give art classes to children and things of that nature, you know. So we got that. We got all the stuff that I'm doing on the side. Roosevelt's at 7. We still have, we've been doing it going, you know, 10 years strong with having a new artist every month, you know, out there, having the first Friday art crawls out there, you know, live music, everything like that. España is going out there, is out there. There's always out there.
There's always music.
There's always music out there. And, you know, a lot of things, you know, is here in the art district are still going on, but we just have to take a little notch down a bit to, you know, just get along with everybody. But yeah, I mean, I wish there was a little more city participation in supporting the arts of this, you know, instead of, how should I put it? Like, you know, like taking a little bit of advantage of artists instead of doing that, you know. So like City McAllen has gotten into this thing where they've gotten a lot of the artists to go ahead and paint the irrigation pipes. You know?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
it looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. You know,
like before you didn't even notice you saw the pipe there, but you were like, okay, whatever.
You're right.
You didn't really like pay attention, any mind to it. And now when you're you know, about to turn, you're like, wow, like look at that piece of art.
Right. You know, and a lot of the artists out there, you know, they put their heart and souls into that because it's a good way for them to go ahead and gain exposure. But the city also takes advantage of stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know, it's like, go out there, here's a couple of $100, a little stipend for you to go ahead and spend the next couple of weeks out there in the sun doing that, you know, and here's some money for some parents and, you know, do that. So, I mean, a lot of people look at it as a way to go ahead and elevate themselves, but then also when you're in a city realm of things like that, you do have a little bit more way of compensating the artist a little bit more to go ahead and do that. You know,
and let me, because we're currently in the Phoenix Gallery, and you co-founded this place, right?
Well, yeah, pretty much what ended up happening.
Yeah, tell me the story. It's no small thing. Like the Phoenix Gallery is like I don't want to say a hidden gem because a lot of people know about it, but the way that it's located.
It's speakeasy-esque, and I'll get into that. So, the owner of the Phoenix Gallery, Isaac Guerra, he had at the time he had Centennial, which is basically right around the corner over here, and it's a speakeasy bar. You know, it's kind of there's a hidden door there. You knock on it, and there's a stairway right when they walk it, and it leads you up to the second story bar there. You know, so. Isaac has been in this area a long time. His sister owns a lot of the suites here in the side building out there, you know. And he had run across this building here, and it was for rent. You know, he found it, and I remember he called me. He goes, "Hey man," "I found this awesome building, and it's gonna be fucking awesome. You gotta come and see it." And
that's a good impression.
And so. Come and see it and anything like that. So, but initially, the gallery was a front because really what it was a speakeasy poker hall is what it was. You know, so that's how we started it off. It was going to be, you know, an underground poker hall. It was pretty high, you know, really, you know, high dollar guys coming in here. And so we wanted it to go ahead and make it into a gallery. One, to go ahead and give it the feel of an art gallery because, I mean, we're artists. Two, pump some art out here, you know, sell some art.
It's an awesome place.
Yeah. So initially what it was, so he comes and goes, "Hey man, do you want to start a gallery?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I want to start a fucking art gallery." You know what I mean? So, I drafted some contracts, you know, and, I contacted a lot of my friends, you know, who, you know, all of my artist friends. I pitched my day, man, you know, we're starting a gallery, you know, let's go ahead and do this. And we started having art exhibits out here, you know. And so, yeah, Isaac and I went ahead and started Phoenix. We did that. And then what ended up happening is at that time, man, I was running myself pretty thin. I had Roosevelt at 7. I had Infusions. I had Centennial. And now I had Phoenix. And these are all places that I was the art director at or the curator.
Nice.
But at the same time, these were all places that I had to come up with art for all these fucking places, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and so I had a little tier of like my emerging artists, I'll go ahead and put them at Roosevelt's, you know what I mean? And then, you know, my more experienced, you know, artists, you know, I'll go ahead and trickle them down the line as they go to all these, you know, higher end restaurants and all this stuff here. And now we had this. And so like I wanted the best of the best of what was in here. So like I said, I contacted people like Sandra Uri, Lorena Vela, Reynaldo Alvarado, myself, Isaac, you know, a bunch of artists, you know, that I've gotten to network with and know along the way. And we had about 3 really successful exhibits out here, sold some good art, you know, got some things. And then COVID hit.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit. COVID hit, and we had to shut down for a long time, almost a year. You know, well, pretty much a year. Maybe no, I think it was like a little bit over a year.
And I remember when the new year hit, 2021. Everyone was like, "COVID's over."
Yeah,
and then, you know.
And so I mean, and we're living in a confined space, so we weren't allowed to have any kind of art exhibits at all whatsoever. And if the city found out we were doing that, they would fuck us, you know.
Yeah.
So that shut down. And so I got COVID during that first round of things, you know.
Wow.
And
was everything okay?
Dude, I had 0 symptoms whatsoever. Like I was not sick The only thing, they put me in all these meds, and I think I got high blood pressure from the steroids, the lung steroids they put me on. But I never got a fever. I think the very first day, I like kind of lost a little bit of my sense. I remember sipping on a Sprite that day and not really tasting the Sprite. Yeah, it was like a little bland. But after that, and I felt a little run down, and that's the reason why I went to the doctor to go get checked, and I found that out. But after that, nothing at all whatsoever. But it was really crazy because that's when the first round was around, and the fucking city of Hidalgo sheriff's office when fucking called me actually, and said, you know, they fucking quarantined my ass.
Really?
Yeah. So I wasn't allowed to leave my apartment.
Wow, for how long?
For a fucking week. You know, I think it was like yes. Man, it was like 7 days or something like that, or you know, or 14. I was out of work. I was out from work for 2 weeks, and I had half of those 2 weeks I had to be confined into my apartment. So man, I was just there thinking, painting, drinking a lot.
Painting.
Yeah. But I was also realizing that I was spreading myself too thin.
Yeah.
And I was doing too much for everybody else and not enough for myself.
Right.
I hadn't been painting that much. I hadn't had a solo show at that point in like about four years, you know. And I'm realizing like, man, you know, like I'm doing so much for everybody else and minus myself.
Yeah.
So COVID lifted, and everything was going on. And so Isaac, you know, got with me. He's like, hey man, let's start up the gallery. I was like, you know what, Isaac, man, you know, I love the gallery. I love everything about it, man. But like, you know what, I think I really need to concentrate on my art, man. I've been putting myself aside too long. I've been doing too much for everybody else. And, you know, I'm gonna step aside for a while. I need to build up a body of work. I don't have a body of work. Luckily, everything that I've been painting has been selling as I go. But I mean, I need to have a body of work, you know, and I want to have another solo show, you know, and not here, you know, I want to go to Austin, you know, I want to go to San Antonio, man. I want to fucking show at the fucking, you know, Hispanic Museum of Modern Art, you know what I mean? You know, and that's what my goal is. So I want to concentrate on that. And he was like, oh man, it's no problem. You know, I love you, brother. You know, I mean, yeah, of course, you know, because, but I mean, so what do you suggest? I mean, that I do? Don't worry about it. We'll figure something out, and we'll find a curator. You know, I mean, you could be the curator. He goes, man, I'm gonna open up España, and I gotta get Centennial up and going again. And he goes, I'm knocking out. I need somebody to help me out. And when we were talking during around that time, Conquista had come back into town.
Oh yeah.
And he was having a show out at the Incubator, and I happened to go out there with a couple of friends, and we were talking, and I had mentioned, I'm the curator over there at the Phoenix. He goes, but I stepped back, and they need a curator, you know. And Conquista's like, oh no shit, they need a curator. I go, yeah, man. And he's like, oh man, cool. Who do I talk to? I go, you go ahead and talk to Isaac. As a matter of fact, I go, if you walk down the street over here, you know, you see that brown door right there. I go, walk in there, and and look for the guy who talks like that. Look at that. He's wearing that. And so he went out there and he talked to Isaac. They got to know each other, you know, and now it is what it is here today, you know. And so, I mean, the beauty of evolution is a beautiful thing, you know. I did things my way back then. Conquista does his things his way, and he does a great job with what it is, you know. I mean, he's been doing some really, really phenomenal job out here, you know, putting out work, exposing, you know, the community to art, you know, and representing the Phoenix Gallery as an excellent curator. You know?
And speaking of art, and you know, you said that you had to focus on your own body of work. I'm not lying when I tell you that the painting behind you is one of my favorites in the Phoenix Gallery. Can you tell me a little bit about your inspiration? It's 4 horses. Are they sprinting? Are they galloping? What are they doing? Nah. There's a lot of energy.
No. I mean, these are, you know, well, the inspiration you see is very colorful. That's my my experimentation with psychedelics.
Nice.
Yeah, so I mean, if you look at it, it does look like a fucking acid trip. You know? But yeah, basically what it is you know that song Wild Horses, you know, the Rolling Stones song. I was listening to that, and that's basically what came to mind. You know, it's my spirit. You know, I feel like a fucking rumblage inside of me sometimes that goes down like an avalanche or a stampede of wild horses, you know. And that's, you know, that's what I was feeling during that time. It's like, you know, like my energy, everything about that was just like, I need to reinvent myself. You know, I need a fucking, and everything's like, dum, 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 like rolling in, you know, and that's when I saw, a stampede. And so I painted that. And actually this painting right here was in IMUS, the International Museum of Arts and Science here in McAllen, on a fucking 30-foot banner on the side of their building, introducing their members of juried exhibit. And so
it's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, that painting has a lot of meaning to it there, you know.
I know this is a very personal subject, and you know, you were talking to me about it last time we were here in the event that was going on. Do you want to tell me about your latest mural?
Yeah, well, the latest mural is yeah, it's a bit of a touchy subject, but yeah, the latest mural is is my daughter, and I did that actually out in the rooftop over here on the Phoenix, and I was looking for a wall, and I had nothing that come up, and so like Woody was like, "Hey man, if you want to paint it here, paint it here," and so I picked a spot where she could see every sunset and she could see every sunrise and every sunset is behind her.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, like, I painted the mural as a memorial to her because she passed away in a car accident approximately 4 months ago. And so that was, you know, going through therapy to understand the grieving process of this. I was talking to my therapist about it, you know, and I told her, you know, I want to do a mural. You know, I want to say goodbye to her in my way. And so therapist thought that it would be a good way to go ahead and get some kind of closure, you know, and also a way to just go ahead and be close to her in some manner of some sort, you know. So luckily, like Woody went ahead and gave me the opportunity to go ahead and have the piece of wall that I got there. I went at it and started painting it. My good friend Jude Danguma went ahead and started filming it because I wanted to go ahead and make a short film out of it, because I wanted to go ahead and send it to my daughter, my younger daughter, to go ahead and you know, just see the process of it and everything like that. And I also wanted to document it because it's something that's important to me. You know?
Of course.
And so he's been documenting it, and so we're gonna go ahead and turn it into a short film. And yeah, that's pretty much what it is there. Yeah, so that's been my latest mural. It's about I don't know, what 8 feet tall, 8.5 feet tall.
I saw some pictures of it. I haven't really gotten a chance to see it in person, but from just the pictures alone, it's pretty amazing.
Thank you, appreciate that, man.
And you're right, that's a great spot because you could definitely see the sunrise.
Yeah, and then also, I mean, I'm pretty sure the guys over here at the Chase Towers can also see it too, because I mean, it's like diagonally right there. So like, I guess if anybody's ever looking out the window, they could actually see it there, you know.
Yeah. So do you think art is just going to be part of your life forever?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The goal is to make it my life, period, you know. You know, I don't know. I'm a bit materialistic in a way, I guess. But and you know, I should have put this. I guess sometimes big change scares me a bit. So many people have already told me. I mean, because like, I mean, I don't just paint, you know. I mean, I do all sorts of other artistic things. You know, whether it's refurbishing old furniture and giving it my twist and things and painting on it, or painting murals or whatever the situation is. And telling me, like, why don't you just go into business and just do it? And he was like, yeah, well, you know, it's a scary thing to fucking rely on yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, to be a go-getter every fucking day.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard. And so I don't sell paintings every day. So I gotta have a full-time job, you know, unfortunately. But I guess the goal of it, I mean, yes, to answer your question, yes, art will always be a part of me. But the goal about it is to just make it where I wake up in the morning, create art, and I'm to the point when I go to bed, you know.
If anybody would like to check out your art, what would be the best way to do that?
They can come over here to the Phoenix Gallery. Roosevelt's at 7, always has my art up as well. They can go out to Harvey's, you know, my good friend TJ and his wonderful wife Audrey owned this amazing bar called
It's on 10th Street, right?
Yeah, it's on 10th and Harvey. It's called Harvey's. And I've actually been selling a lot of art through there. And just recently, a piece got sold out of there that's on its way up to the American Native American Center in Chicago, Illinois,
Wow.
which is one of the oldest and biggest Native American museums in the United States. And it's going to be inducted into there for permanent viewing.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you, man.
That's awesome, bro.
Thank you. So one of those paintings, and that painting was a painting of a rendition of me and one of my best friends who passed away a couple of years ago, Max Moreno. And I actually, the person that bought it had been trying to fucking buy it for like a year and a half, and I wouldn't sell it to him.
Mm-hmm.
Had a lot of sentimental value to it. I was kind of attached to it. And until the point where I was like, you know what, man? I mean, if Max is gone, and one day, you know, I'll be gone as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but that painting will live forever
Mm-hmm.
where it's at. You know, and so I think instead of holding on to it that way, that would be the best way to pay homage to my best friend. You know,
Nice.
and so I guess I let him, you know, sold it to them. They took it out there, or they're taking it out there, and that's, you know, that's where it's at. But yeah, I also have art out there. TJ, Audrey, I love you guys. Yeah, but they're huge supporters, and I've been selling a lot of art through there. I need to have another solo show.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to go ahead, and this is something that I want it to be something big. I want it to be the biggest solo show I've ever done. I've already had about 4 solo shows in various galleries.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I want this to be interactive. I want it to be a lot of things. So I don't know how long it's going to take me to go ahead and do it, but I think that's the goal. That's the next goal.
What does the solo show comprise of? Do you have to like make a certain amount of paintings, or how does that work?
What it is, and the way I've always done it is, it's a series of work. It's something that's correlated with each other. That it's a body of work that correlates with each other, telling a story. Everything is connected, you know? And so, that's basically what it is. You know, I mean, solo shows could also be, you know, various works of you, you know, just, you know, random stuff that you put out together and everything's all you. I mean, that's a solo show as well. But I mean, most of the solo shows that I've ever done have been basically themed and related to each other. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I really want to go ahead and do, and I don't want to talk too much, but I don't want to let the cat out of the bag.
Keep it a secret.
But yeah, I want it very this shows I want to fucking say who I am in it. You know, I want my roots to be in it. You know, my heritage, everything like that. Yeah. I mean, we'll see how it goes. So that's going to take a little while, but also I want to make a statement. I want to say something. I don't want it just to be, you know, a certain subject matter. I want it to be deep, you know, and I don't necessarily want to offend people, but maybe some people be offended. I don't know, you know. I mean,
well, let me ask you, not only with this one that's coming up, but like, I guess in general with your art, what are like some questions that you want people to take away when they see your art, or things to think about? If there was a couple of, you know, like when you see a painting, you might start thinking about a certain subject, or start to see something in a different point of view. Like, is there a goal with your art?
You know, yeah, you know, I mean, well, there's always a goal with it, you know. I mean, I don't do much abstract work, so a lot of people, like, say, for example, like a lot art is representatives, like, meaning like it can mean different things to different people when they see it, you know what I mean? And it always is like that. So when you paint and you have a certain message, you basically put it on yourself. You stand next to your painting, you explain it, and that way everybody gets the visual. But it's also fun to go ahead and see the way people view things and see different things that you didn't necessarily see in your own work. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily want to go ahead and unless I'm really trying to, and there's a subject matter that I want to go ahead and shove down people's throat with my art, then I mean you'll see it, you know what I mean? It'll be in your face. But for the most part, you know, I do like to go ahead and let people's imagination just take them where they want to go with it. You know what I mean? Exactly. Like for all you know, I mean, I was going through something. I might have been going through something dark, but somebody could see something the opposite. You know what I mean? And and
I feel secure, strong, energetic, comfortable, and happy with that painting.
Yeah, there you go. And to be honest with you, I felt through this painting, I felt a feeling of loss, and not necessarily loss, but being lost.
Yeah.
And refinding itself, and now coming with great confidence out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I want to ask you about some of the murals that are around the city. For example, right here on Old 83, in this store, it's called LA.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Something, I forgot what it was called. But before it was just blank, and now there's a huge mural there. And I've been seeing more and more of that happening, not only here in the art district, but like all around the valley. Mm. What does that do for not only the artist that's painting it, but for those that are discovering it?
You know, I mean, like I said, it goes back to culture. And that's the way that we as a civilization here in the Rio Grande Valley are able to tell our stories, be able to tell, you know, our style, you know, I mean, because we have a style, we have an artistic style down here, you know, and we have a, you know, we're 5 minutes away from the border, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I mean, everybody out here is basically a Latino, you know what I mean? Or a Pocho, or, you know, whatever you want to go, but we're of Mexican descent, you know? And so that's what we are culturally wise. To have murals out here is a way of telling who we are as people, what we've been through as a society and as a civilization down here, you know, whether it be picking fields, you know, or whatever the situation is, you know, it's a way of telling our stories. It's our hieroglyphics. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
In your mind, what does the future of the Rio Grande Valley look like in maybe 5 to 10 years when it comes to the art community? Or what do you want to see?
What I want to see, you know, I'd like to see the cities get a lot more involved with the artists, you know, and especially upcoming artists, you know, especially when they're kids, plant those seeds in them to go ahead and become amazing artists, you know, give them the support, all that stuff, you know. What I'd like to see, you know, I mean, where do I see things? That's a different story, you know, because as a society, we're growing, and in the city here in Texas, you have to realize that now we may be in the possibility, there may be a possibility that we can ultimately lose our culture just like the way Austin did. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Austin is nothing the way it was in the 90s or in the early 2000s or anything like that, you know? Austin was Texas, you know what I mean? Austin was everything that Texas was, you know? And now it's California, you know?
Yeah.
And now with like Elon Musk bringing in Starbase out here, and a lot of more people that realize how cheap land is down here. Mm-hmm. You know, that, you know, where they're spending, you know, $3 to $5 million on a house, and they only realize that they could spend $500,000 on a house with an acreage of land out here.
Yeah.
I mean, and they could buy probably 3 or 4 of them. You know, you know, it's kind of an issue. You know what I mean? And that's the way we're going to lose. That's the way we're going to lose ourselves. You know, is losing our culture.
Yeah.
And so, as artists, and especially artists from here, we need to put it out there. You know, we need to paint those walls. You know, we need to tell a story on those walls. You know what I mean? You know, and tell a story of us, of who we are, and everything like that. Because if we don't, other artists from other places, which is already happening, that's the whole thing with Brownsville. It's, you know, that, you know, and everything like that, are gonna put their stuff on our walls, you know, and it's gonna, you know, and,
I saw it.
And yeah, and it's, and that's the, you know, then that's what regentrification is.
That pissed a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like you're bring someone from far away to paint over here.
Right. No, that pissed a lot of people off, and I can see why it was done, but at the same time, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people were like, oh, and they paid him all this money. Well, the thing about it is, who are you? What's your name? And you haven't really done much. So, I mean, I understand that. I mean, that they paid, but that guy has a name. That guy, you know, is an established artist. You know what I mean? And I mean, and granted, you may not be, you know, and you don't have a name, and so your mural may not be worth. I mean, as you know, or may not be held as high of a standard as that one. You know what I mean? And so the thing about it is like, well, I wanted $20,000. I was like, well, they probably wouldn't have given you $20,000. You know what I mean? But they would have. But nevertheless, I mean, you need to prevent stuff like that from happening. You know what I mean? Losing our culture with other cultures that come and basically conquer, you know, like what's been done since fucking the end of days and conquistadores, you know, and everything like that, you know. It's a
cycle.
Yeah, it's a cycle, but there's I guess this is a word that I'm looking for. It's colonizing, you know. Colonizing is basically what it is, you know. And when you colonize a certain part, you know, people lose out, you know. They lose who they are, you know.
Well, let me ask you, what does Puro 956 mean to you?
That's funny that you mentioned that, because Puro 956 is, how should I put it? I want to say that is a subculture of us, of who we are, you know, a subculture, you know what I mean? And a subculture with all the cuz, you know, and you know, and the flea market dancers, and you know, and that's a certain spice of us that you can't get anywhere else. You know what I mean? That's what 956 is, you know. And as a matter of fact, I'm launching a t-shirt line that I've been doing, which is actually, it has a tacuache, and it's like a polo shirt with a tacuache instead of the polo horse, is the tacuache.
Instead of the alligator or the...
Yeah, exactly. And well, really where that came from was when I started mingling with street art. I went around McAllen, spray painting tacuaches all over the place.
Nice.
And I got that from people like back in the 80s. There was a French artist by the name of Black Lerat, and he would go around France stenciling rats all over the place. And then Banksy adopted that, and he started doing it his way with his rats in England. And I'm like, well, I mean, who is a scavenger out here in the valley? The tacuache, you know what I mean? The tacuache. So it's not raccoons, it's not the fucking tacuache. So I went around spraying tacuaches all over the place. And then one day I was like, you know what? I'm going to put that on a fucking shirt. You know? And I was doing wheat pasting as well. And and the wheat pasting was basically a mingle of my American upbringing and my Mexican culture, you know? Nice. And so like I was doing stuff with like Dirty Harry with Emiliano Zapata's face on it, you know what I mean? Wow. And a sombrero, you know? And old 50 styles Batman lifted his mask, and it's Emiliano Zapata, you know what I mean? So I was out there wheat pasting all that stuff in the alleyways here in downtown McAllen. And so I wanted to make a streetwear that represented my street art, and that's what that is. But 956, getting back to that, I mean, that was 956 is. It's like who I am, what I am, the tacuache, el pinche tacuache, way. You know what I mean? You know? And then, you know, and this is who we are, you know? It fucking smells like tacos, you know what I mean? You want to know what fucking 956 smells like? It smells like fucking tacos, you know?
In every corner there's a taqueria.
Yeah, and it smells like tacos, you know? It's loud, with fucking banda music playing, you know? And people wapangoing over there, you know? And curanderos over there, you know? And light your velas and all that fucking shit, you know? That's who we are as a culture, you know? And if we don't look after it, as much as we make fun of it, it'll be lost, you know?
For sure. Do you want to tell people how to find the Phoenix Gallery so that they know where it's at?
The easiest way that I could basically explain how to get here is if you know where the bus station is at here on Old 83 in McAllen, which is 15th Street. You make a left there. You hit Austin, you make another left, and then you're gonna hit Main Street and you make another left, and you're there. Yeah. But what you're gonna look for is you're gonna look for the black metal screen door, and that's with you're gonna see candy shops, bridal stuff, and all of a sudden this black screen door, this fucking weird staircase that goes up to where you don't know where it's going to go up to. So you walk up there kind of creepily, like where the hell am I going? And all of a sudden you're in another world, man.
With the wooden stairs creaking.
Yeah. It's awesome. I like that. I love the wooden stairs creaking.
And it's actually next to I believe there's a store here called Zorba or something like that.
Yeah, right next door is Zorba. Yeah, so it's right before Zorba. Yeah. So it's the black screen door right before Zorba. Nice. And that's also the better way to go and say it there.
And for my last question, is there anything that you have on your chest that you just want to get off? A message for anybody maybe listening or watching?
Man, not really. I mean, I think everything that I've always said is, I mean, if I have something to say, I usually say it. So, I mean, everything I've always said has already been said. But what I do want to say right now is that I want to give a big thanks to everybody that's supported me throughout my journey as an artist, and to everybody that's actually supported me throughout the passing of my daughter, because I never realized how big of a support system I have, until that happened, and there was a lot of love. And I just want to say that I love everybody, I want to give that love back. I want to say thank you. I love you all, yeah, and I'm just going to keep on doing my thing and just keep on going hard. And that's pretty much about it. That's all you can do. You know what I mean? And we're going to have a lot more art exhibits, we're going to have a lot more fun things to go ahead and do. There's big things in the future for us. So when we get, in line with the city, we're going to go ahead and start doing other things as well. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much about it.
Jason, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Thank you for having me. And it was a pleasure doing this here with you, man.